I don't know if this is what I want to listen to. Yes. Let's see. That might be the right noise. Yeah. Alright. Yo, what up, everybody? I'm just working on some stuff from that I was working on last night while I was chilling at work. I was compiling like a lot of notes, and so I'm just kind of organizing some of the stuff. And what I was working on too is like for my cowboy stories, right? Wherever that is, I have it somewhere in here. I actually have to put it into my folder. Organized. Please. Gonna move? Organize. Move. There we go. Put my cowboy shit folder here. It should go. We're like kind of a little laggy today. Go here, please. There we go. I hope that works. Let me just leave that here for now. Yeah, I was looking at like plotting out my own maps and stuff too, but that's like a later kind of thing. Oh yeah, this is for some research that I was doing too earlier about forts and stuff like that. So about like expansion era during like the cowboy era. So this will probably rename it. I'll be a little bit more professional, but the only reason why I call it cowboy shit is from I watched a lot of wrestling. And this is all history stuff that I'm working on right now. It doesn't really, I don't know how accurate it is yet because like I'm still like doing a lot of research, but I just thought I would stream it too while I'm here. Like it doesn't, this is like just me chilling and doing some work, you know? And I was gonna wake up and play video games, but I've gotten very behind on my actual writing that I was like, yo, you know what? Let's wake up, let's get a tea going, and let's just start organizing our thoughts and stuff like that. Because even in the cowboy story, like I don't have a name for this story yet, but what I was thinking of, like one of the subtitles I was going to add in here would be like, just like spring 1867, right? And that would be underneath the actual title. So it would be like title, which I don't really know what the title is yet, so I'm just going to probably leave that blank for now. And then this is my subtitle for like, you know, the chapter subtitle. And I just like the idea of this as being like, everything in my stories will be connected. Like it'll be all one universe, the mythology of like what I'm working on. But it's like, when you read it, you'll be like, oh, this happened in spring 1867 with this character, you know? And I kind of want to build out that mythology a little bit more. And like, yeah, I could easily be like, spring, which would be, we could say April, but we could go like yeah, we could go April 13th 1867. Actually, that'd be kind of funny. Let's see, when was that? April 13th 1867. What day is that? It's a Saturday. That's even funnier that you could, that's awesome that you could actually look that up. So if I really wanted to, I could be like Saturday. And then that's actually, you know what, I kind of like that now that I'm looking at it. As silly as that might be, I don't know, something about that actually I kind of like. Where it's like, on this day, this event happened in my world. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I kind of like that. I don't know why, but something about that. I kind of like that. That's like, I don't know, I like that. And I'll just be like, I don't even know what this title is yet, but we'll get back to that later. But I like this. This idea here was I was driving to work yesterday, and the thought came to me about like little chapter things to add, right? So this was a driving thought. I was like, I'm gonna do this, just spring in the year, and then the year 1867. When I was starting to think about the years of things, that's when I started getting into the history of stuff, because like I know roughly that the cowboy slash Wild West era begins in and around the aftermath of the Civil War, right? So because it's the expansion. So then I just started looking into the Civil War a little bit more. Um, so yeah, this is kind of where I did all these notes yesterday while I was at work. So, and I was doing work, but also like I had these ideas just as I was working. Um, all these dudes have their own history, so I actually want to do that while I was here. Um, List of presidents. Oh wait, hold on, I got to put an American presidents in order from 1865 to 1890. There we go. It should start with Lincoln. Yeah, see, I needed this. Ulysses Grant. I've heard about this dude. Never heard about this guy. Never heard about this guy. Oh, well, that makes sense. He died. Never heard about Chester A. Arthur. I haven't heard about any of these dudes. Okay, I'm just going to grab all of this. Because these are like important figures, right? So here we go. Let me grab that. And I don't know if these presidents will ever like actually amount to anything in my actual world of stories, but it's good to have. You know what I'm saying? So let me just get this in here. Boom. And like I already kind of started it with my own language, but I might clean it up a little bit, like how they have it here. Actually, I might just take all that. Okay, this is actually pretty good. So I'm just going to use this as part of my shit. And then like I might actually sit down and look into some of these guys. I've heard of this guy. He's important. This guy, I haven't really read too much about him, but I've heard of him. Obviously Lincoln. But these guys here, after this, these guys are like the important ones during the expansion of the West, right? I can get rid of this. So this is important list. I don't know if they're going to be that important. Come story wise, because like you could always throw it out there. Oh, what was that? Okay. And then I just started writing down like the weapons. Let me get that here. But I have to actually go over this a lot more in the future too, just because I want to make sure the stuff that I'm using. Now, here's the other thing that I'm working on. Not necessarily, I don't know if any of the actual, oh, actually, I want to write that in here. Civil War was known at the time as the war. There's another way, another thing they called it. Because there was like another one called like the something about the Union expansion. Or no, the Great Rebellion. Yeah, this one. And I like how like if you were from the north, it would be this, and then if you were from the south, it was this. I actually thought that was really cool. I'm gonna put that in here. Let me get that in here. Remove that and this. And again, like I'm saying, these are just ideas. For like, this is, I actually want this mostly for dialogue purposes. In case, like, you know, I ever do something about these characters. Should I? Actually, you know what? I don't like the way that looks. Let me do it this way. Yeah, that looks better. And we can get this in here. And I know there's probably other things that the board was been called other things, but I like this idea of if you were in the South, this is what the newspapers would be calling it. I really don't like how AI, like when you get these AI answers, but it helps. Oh yeah, so this is my map thing. I want to work on a kind of a map because my first story here that I've been writing, right? When I got down to here, where we left off, right? Now this little house is in a prairie, right? So I started looking into what the Midwest was. So let me just pull that up here. What area was the Midwest? Oh, I guess we could call it Wild West too. I guess we could call it the region. Yeah, that makes sense. And this area here, oh, this is more of the American frontier here. I thought it was more of this. Let me look at this one for a second. The American frontier. Let me get this map up. This is actually a pretty good wiki. I'll probably sit down and read it. We want before the Mexican War. Oh yeah, there's that history too that we can get into as well. This is the map that I want. This pre-Civil War one will be pretty good to have. And hold on, let me get that actually. Sometimes, hold on, let me open that in another tab. Let's look at this one though. This neutral zip is still a neutral strip today, I think. Yeah, so when I was looking at it, so this is Oklahoma, right? Yeah, this is Oklahoma, if I recall, because this is what I was looking at right here. Yeah, and that's that undisputed zone. So Oklahoma's not a thing yet at all, right? When you're looking at this. And then I was looking at, oh, I didn't have that map up, but this is two really good maps. Hold on, I wanna, actually, let me get this. I kind of want to save like certain Wikipedias as well. Why are you not opening? There we go. Let me bookmark this bad boy. I need a new bookmark. Choose another folder. Yes. New. Let me put cowboy shit. Cowboy history shit. Save. And that is for you. Are you in there? Just double check. American history, you're in there. Yeah, so this is pretty good. I'll be reading over this. I'll be reading over this probably tonight when I'm at work. My phone gets a lot of reading done. Okay, so this is pretty cool. Both of these maps are pretty cool. Can I save it? Even though I'm cool, I can save it. Nice. Let me I might have to start a new folder here as well. New for just cowboy shit. Cool. This is, what is this? This is what? 1984. Okay, I'll just keep that for that. That's not. And this is for 1959 to 60. So this is pre-Civil War. Okay. Let me get that one too. I'll put that here. Pre-Civil War. So this one, hold on, I just gotta look at this map again. So this is the map from 84 to 89. So this is like the tail end of the Midwest. So as you can see, they've already started taking over Nebraska, Colorado, and Kansas. If we go and look at, let me see, can I get a map of America during Civil War? Yeah. Oh yeah, it's also called the Revolutionary War, right? Did I write that in here? Yeah. I think the Revolutionary War is more of a modern term that we use, not like, that's not what the people were calling it, right? 1864. I want 1861, the beginning of it. Do you have a good wiki though? That's interesting. Let me see if we can get a wiki for it. Here we go. This is a very detailed Civil War map. Let's get in. This is not accurate from what I've seen. I'm not saying it's wrong. Oh, this is pretty cool though. What is this? This is like the very beginning of the Civil War. This is Texas. Oh, I actually like this. I like this a lot actually, because there's some towns in here. I'm gonna just keep this. Because I was actually really curious about the towns. Or not, yeah, I guess I would call them towns. Why is it so big? So San Antonio's been around forever, eh? I like that I cannot scroll this map nicely. Fort Sumner? Okay. So from what I was reading, what is this area here? Like uncontested area? Interesting. New York, Baltimore, Washington, yeah. Cool. That's interesting. Can I go smaller? I need a better map though. I like this map. Probably not. I'm not a big fan of it though. Let's see what this one is. '61. The war hasn't even started yet, but this is the territories, right? These are the territories. These guys aren't in it yet. Or were they? Were they? I'll have to look at that. Because I think a lot of the fighting too would happen here in Virginia. More so. I'm gonna have to look at these ones as well. Because like once this war ends, right? Once it ends, then the expansion goes into here, and this is where all the Wild West shit happens. So that's kind of what I'm like looking at right now, is like, where's in this world does my story take place? So the good question is, okay, let me keep that. Is unclear. There's so many like random things going on in this that I'm just like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Whew. There's so much to learn. Okay, but let's go back to this though. I'm just gonna keep it and come back to that. This is a comebacker. Okay, so where in America? No. What states in America would be prairie land? Because this is kind of important. Exactly where I think the expansion part is, right? Excellent. So, I think my story is actually going to take place in fucking Oklahoma. Because Oklahoma hasn't been discovered yet, or not discovered, but it's still Indian territory, which could actually be like pretty perfect for where my story is going to take place. Will be this area. Okay, I'm going to write that down here. I'm going to write that where. Okay, this. Oh yeah, actually I want this little tidbit of information. Put this here. Pop, pop. I'm always a fan of this. Yikes. There we go. Oh my gosh. I sometimes Google documents. They're so frustrating to work with. Because like, let me have my spacing the way I want it. But sometimes they're like, no, dog, you can't have the spacing the way you want it. We want it to be spaced like this. Then I have to go in and like fuck around with it for a little bit. Okay, this will be later information I have to get around to. But this is important. Actually, I'll just work it right here. And I will title this heading 1. I think I'll call it the prairies. Yes. And in my notes already, as you can see here, I have what they classified as the core, right? Is my, yeah, okay. So, the core prairie states include, and I'm going to break this down so I can read it a little bit better. So, these ones. So this is like, I'm going to put this in here too. Okay, why won't you shift over for me? I swear, sometimes... Are you kidding? There we go. Okay, this is what I want as well. Boom. So I'm thinking my first short story is going to take place in Oklahoma because it's untamed land. So I think I'm just going to write this. Actually, 1867, Oklahoma. I'm going to make a note in my history. This is for me. First. Have I been spelling Oklahoma wrong my entire life? I have been spelling Oklahoma wrong my entire life. Oh man, I'm learning something new here. I always thought it was O-A-K. Damn, my entire life I've been spelling Oklahoma wrong. I was for a second I'm like looking at it going, Google, are you spelling Oklahoma wrong? No, Brett, it's you. So here's the thing too. Okay, I'm gonna actually put this in here. Laws and maybe rules. I don't know if this is the right title for this yet, but I was really thinking about this a lot because of this. So this is important. The Homestead Act of 1962, okay, or 1862. I'm gonna make this a heading 2 because I want that in here. Oh shit. Okay, I gotta re-edit all that. Do 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 do. There we go. Normal. Okay, the Homestead Act of. Actually, wait, shoot, I wanted that. Actually, no, I don't want that. Okay, hold on. Gotta fix this. Gotta fix this. Boom, boom, boom. This is what I want. Take that out. Give me that indent. That's fine. The Homestead Act of 1862. Now, this is kind of important. Yeah. Because, like, this whole rule here is, oh, what am I doing? This is how they expanded, okay? This is how the Americas expanded into the West. And it's interesting because this happens during the Civil War, right? So I'm going to double check some history here. Let me get rid of this stuff for now. Oh, actually, I should have kept that one thing that I was looking at. But that prairie, that's okay. I know how to pull that one back up. Because, like, all this here is, like, this is, like, where all the cowboy shit happens. You know what I wouldn't mind getting while I'm here? Train routes for... Okay, wait, hold on. American train rails, I think, during 1861 to 1890. Actually, we'll go 1860. Let's be more specific. To 1890. Let's go with that. See if I can get any maps. Let's go right into the wiki. Okay. What? This is it? No. This is the train line? Added later, Union Pacific and Central Pacific. What? I always thought it went right across. Like, what am I looking at here? Okay, where did the railroad start? Map of the first transcontinental railroad crossing the western United States from California. Built in 1860 and opening in 1869, the Central Pacific, the Red Line, United Pacific, Blue Line, and the Western Pacific, Green Line. So it's, where the heck, can I get in closer here? So it just starts in the middle of California? For the longest of times, whenever I think about the old school rail, I always thought it started like out here in like New York, right? Like in the hub of the civilization, and they built it outwards to go across the land. Okay, I gotta look into this some more. Now I'm even more curious about the fucking rail. So there's like two things going on here. That's actually pretty cool. I gotta look way more into this. Oh, these are all very important people. This is what I want here too, land grants. This is going to be kind of an important aspect to things. Alright, labor and weight, This is very interesting. There's a lot to read here this week. I'll be reading this at work. Because I always... That's interesting. Okay, cool. I need to write in here. I know I wrote down stuff about trains. Where did I put that? Right here. Okay, this is gonna be train shit. Trains and railways. Because I need more information about that. I got to do a lot more research. Yeah, okay. Because this whole, I have to like really look into the train because that's crazy. I need to know like when this was happening because like the railroad. This is what? What is that state? I forget which one that is. Kansas? No, that's Kansas. What's this one? Nebraska. When did Nebraska become a thing? See, I'm looking at this. So I'm here, Untamed, and I think the one map I was looking at, it had these were taken over, but all this is still open. Like all this was still open because this is like Montana up here. Oh wait, Montana's right here, right? Yeah, I think that's Montana. I can't remember which one's Montana. Oh, yeah, the big one's Montana. That's interesting. So they built that train right through this. They didn't go to Colorado at all. They went up and around it, probably because of the mountains. So they're like, yo, let's hit Nebraska, go above it, Wyoming, through Utah. Wait, did it go through Utah? Yeah, through Utah, Nevada, and into California. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, let me look at something here. First, major. Actually, usually when they do expansion, like most civilizations in the Americas and even in Canada, to expand into new territory, it's usually military first, right? Because they're taking care of, first of all, they're taking care of nature, like the elements, um, animals and stuff like that, and then you also have to put into the, the warring tribes, my people, which they really weren't. I don't think they were as much of a force as history likes to tell us, or movies like to tell us. But first fort in Oklahoma. Oh my god, I'm spelling Oklahoma wrong. Oklahoma is the place for me. Now we gotta do some ancient history. Okay, so Fort Gibson was the first U.S. military post in Oklahoma, established in 1824, by Colonel Matthew Arbuckle, near the Grand River. Let me get in here. Oklahoma, where's the Grand River? Where is the Grand River? Okay, we're pulling it up. Oh, by the end of this, I'm going to know how to spell Oklahoma. What is this? The Grand River. Let me see it on the map. Oh, wait, is this the dam? Wait, do I know this? The Grand River in northeastern Oklahoma is a major waterway starting at the confluence of the Nisho and Spring Rivers near Miami. What? Going south. Oh, okay. It forms Grand Lake of the Cherokees, Lake Hudson, the Fort Gibson Reservoir, and which are managed by the Grand River Dam or GRD and for hydropower and water supply. Okay, cool. Can I get a map, please? I need a map. Give me an image. This is what I want. Wait, is this it? Let me look at this. What is this? Can we get in? Oh, Tulsa. Isn't that from, what is that show? King of Tulsa? Tulsa King? Yeah, Tulsa King. Is that where Tulsa is? Wait, is that where Tulsa King takes place? Wait, hold on. I need to know. Yeah, okay, that's funny. I've only watched season 1 of Tulsa King, so wow, Tulsa is incredibly small. So here's Fort Gibson Lake. This is what I'm looking for right here. Okay. Where was it? Hold on. Where was it? Grand River. So the Fort Gibson Lake is not. So this is probably the Grand River then. Grand Lake or the Cherokees. So this whole thing here is the Grand River. Okay, there's Lake Hudson. Yeah. Okay, so this is what the guy was. The river was. So there's the Grand River right here. Oh, okay, I found it. Grand River's at the top. Okay, where? Let me see. I'm just gonna see if I can find it here. Choctaw Nation, nice. Oh, Choctaw, Cherokee. There's Tulsa. Okay, so if Tulsa's here, then the river. This is it here. Is that it? Yeah, I guess it is. So here. Where does the river go? Oh, nice. Look at it. That's cool. Goes all the way down in here. Nice. Look at that. I wonder if there's some good fishing on there. I bet you there is. Cool. I'm like totally distracted, I know. Spencer Creek. So it's like way up here, right? Is the fort still around? Let's see. If there's one thing I do know about the Americas, I don't know that one. Okay, let me see if I can find Fort Gibson. I'm just gonna look. Fort Gibson. Ooh. Historic site. Am I in the right spot? Okay. Historic site. This is the one thing I have to, honestly, one thing about the Americas, they really, really keep their forts, like, their historical stuff, like they're on top of that shit. How far away was I? Oh, Tulsa's there. So Fort Gibson's like way down here. Alright, let me do some history on Fort Gibson here. Let's go. How long was Fort Gibson in operation? 1824 to 01. Okay. 32. There's going to be some good history in here to read. Okay, read the third. So, 36. Because, like, I would assume, like, this is probably, if this fort lasted, it's still around, obviously. So, here we go, 57. Oh, so in 1857, the War Department abandoned the post and deeded the property and improvements to the Cherokee, who established the village of Kituwa on site. During the Civil War, the Union briefly reoccupied the post because of the invasion of the Indian Territory in the summer of 1862, but the site was abandoned when Union forces withdrew to Kansas. So this fort has been here for a while. Like, all through that. Okay, so I'm just going to make a note of this place. I kind of want to write a little bit more about the prairies. Well, I think I might add in... Just because my first story is going to take place in Oklahoma, I'm going to kind of write a little bit more... I need some Oklahoma. I don't know what to call this, but I'm just going to call it Oklahoma. For now, because I'm going to write about this history. So I know for a fact we have Fort Gibson, 18, what was that again, 23 or something like that? And we definitely know it was around in the during the Civil War. Okay, let's get ready. But what happened after? What? Cherokee failed. Okay, what happened here? After the immigrant Indians settled their new nations, the need for the military protection declined. In the 50s, the Cherokee... Okay, yeah, we read that. I didn't really read that part. Okay. Fort Gibson remained a military post after the war, but in 71, most troops were transferred, leaving only a detachment responsible for provisions in a quartermaster depot. Troops returned the next year, and the size of the garrison fluctuated in response to threats from outlaws, white encroachment, whatever that means, intertribal disputes, and other problems in the region. In summer 1890, the government again abandoned the facility, but troops would occasionally camp at the site when unrest required their presence in the area. So this post is just a good old post. Like, nothing happened here. But, like, people armed it, obviously. Okay, so what we got here? Because no battles or massacres occurred at or near the post, Fort Gibson never earned the reputation that some other frontier forts achieved. But for more than half a century, it accomplished its mission for maintaining the peace. That's pretty cool. At the height of the Indian removal, I don't like those terms, it had the largest garrison in the nation, and many notable Americans served there or passed through. I don't know who any of these guys are. Is listed in the National Register and has been designated a historical landmark, and that's cool. Okay, so this place existed all the way, like it existed. And we can kind of say it went all the way up to the pretty much the entirety run of the expansion era of the Wild West, which is pretty good. And I could also put like this is like more for. I'm definitely actually. You know what? Let me grab that. That was some really good information here. I'm gonna just rip this, copy that because I want to read it again. I'm gonna bookmark it obviously, but I'm gonna throw it right into my documents so I can read more about it. Because like it seems like Fort Gibson was just a pretty cool spot, you know what I'm saying? Like it did its job. Let me paste that in there. Apply. Cool. Nothing crazy happened here. A fort of peace, in a sense. But that's the whole point of these forts, right? Is like they are there for the expansion purpose. So if Fort Gibson's there, now I need to kind of know like what was like what's the first fucking town? First town settlement, I guess is the right word I'm looking for. Oklahoma. There we go. I don't need images. I need this. Wait a minute. Hold on. Economy Oklahoma City? Is it Oklahoma City, the first city? Okay, so Fort Gibson is the first place. Okay, that's cool. Let me write that down in here. What's up, people in the chat who are watching me do random shit? First establishment in the state. Let me write that. Yeah, that makes sense. So after that, if people are coming here, because I'm always very interested in the idea of like, okay, let's see what these guys are throwing at me. Because like for expansionism of what I'm thinking of, because where I'm thinking my world is going to be taking place is like in Oklahoma. So the first, like, I kind of trying to build up the history of like how would a settler even get here? You know what I'm saying? Because like my character in the story right now, my short story. What's up, Firefox? Are you trying to learn more about RDR2 or the Wild West in general? Good question. I am actually okay. So I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I am trying to write short stories, and I'm writing all my short stories based on the Wild West. So right now, I'm actually doing more research on the Wild West in general. So I've already written a good chunk of my short story. Like I got a lot more to finish though. Um, but now I'm kind of like just trying to figure out where in the world my short story takes place and kind of build that out a bit and like learn before I continue writing more. And like my first short story doesn't necessarily mean um, like I could write it as more fantasy if I wanted to, but I kind of wanted to be like still kind of grounded in the world of America and like what was going on at the time, right? And like I don't have to necessarily need all this information, but this is more for me. And I'm kind of like I wrote it like yeah. So that's kind of what I'm doing. Yes, I'm learning about the Wild West. We gotta look into this place. Often credited as the first permanent non-military trading post, established by Jean-Pierre Chateau. I think I've heard this guy before. Let me look at him. Let's take a look at him. What's this guy look like? This guy looks very indigenous. I hope you don't mind. I hope you don't mind. I've been trying to do writing sessions too, because like my grand plan of everything Firebox is like I want to write short stories and I want to get them out there and like let people read them. So I'll probably start like a Patreon later and just have my short stories up on the internet for people to read. There'll be like a subscription for like maybe like $1 or $2, I don't know, but like if you subscribe, you'll get like the newest stories first, but the old stories will be available for people who aren't subscribed yet. So whenever I make a new story, it'll push that story out into the wild for people to read on the Patreon, like so they know. And I think that's what I'm going to do. It's still all early days for me, but yeah. Who is this guy? He's the first settler of St. Louis from New Orleans. He becomes the most prominent. This dude looks incredibly native. Like, those are indigenous features if I've ever seen before in my life. I gotta look way more into this guy. But we'll get around to him. When did he live till? 1758 till the 49. So he didn't even make it to. He didn't even make it. That's cool. He didn't even make it to the Civil War, but he was around. He's important. But what is this place? Okay, let's try and find the history of this place. It doesn't even have it. We need a. Let's go with this. Let's see if we can get anything from it. So it was established in 1796, but it didn't last, did it? So it's a fur trading post within the Osage Nation, located near the salt mines and the Great River. Okay, so what happened to it? Oh, so it's still around. Okay, so this place exists. So where the hell is it? Salina. We need to go to the maps. Time to go to the map. Here we go. Salina. OKC. Let's see. Where are you? Right here. Okay, that's cool. Where about? Oh, it's in Tulsa. Oh, that's cool. Wait, it's not in Tulsa. It's outside of Tulsa. So it's in Choctaw Nation. Oh, that's neat. That's really neat. Okay, so if it's there, then that means okay. So it's like right near. Can I get? Let me get some directions. We're going for a drive. Fort Gibson Historic Site. Let's see how far away it is from each other. Oh, yo, that's a quick rip down the river, right? Fort Gibson. Yeah, they probably would have definitely just sailed down this bad boy right here. From up here, they probably just jumped in some freaking canoes, just ripped down, came on down in here, and been like, yo, what up, Fort? Oh, I fucked everything up. That's cool. Alright, maybe... Okay, let me... so Selena was around. Let me take it. We gotta go deeper. We gotta go deeper on the search. And also, I'm just running some audio in the back. You know, some... hold on. I need to write this in here. Selena was in 17, was it? Let me see. Where was that? Nope, nope. Salina, Oklahoma, established in 1796, so it was around. Okay, I need this information. Established in 1786. Now, what I need to know is... Oh, site history. The site was later home to the Cherokee Nation Orphan Asylum, built in 1872 and destroyed in the fire of 1903. Interesting. So is this town like a native town, like a reservation, or was it like a real? It's okay. So it's established by French fur trader, on the native land. So it is for white people. Okay, let me get some more history here. Let's see what we can get here. So it lasted as a trading post from 1796 to 1817. But then what happens to it? The name Salina is derived from the Grand Saline. Oh, so it's saline? Salina. So it's like saline, but with an A. Salina. Salina? Located nearby. And so they must... Okay. So this dude ran the salt business. And he built a plantation. Okay, here we go. So in 1849, okay, they haven't even... On the site of the salt works. So did they use the orphans to work on this thing? Okay, so did anyone even come here? So in 1849, the first post office was established. Okay. This town had to have been incredibly small. But then they put an orphan here. I'm really curious about this. This is some shady shit right here. But that's a totally different story for another time. And the post office name was this. And then the population of this town is this in 1912. So this town was probably like bare minimum nothing. Because if it only had a post office and nothing else, no one was coming here. It's a stop and go. Okay. Interesting. Let me write that down. Post office. Because usually when you see like 1842, I think it is. Usually, when you get to these, like, where'd it go? Okay, Fort Gibson will come back to you, bud. Fort Gibson gone. I like this for later. That's for now. And did I close it by accident? Probably. Okay. Oh, Oklahoma Historical Site. During the fall of 18. Okay. Oh man, there's a lot to read here about this place. Cause like, I just want to know. So this place was just literally for salt. So they stopped working it. Indian Territory. Okay, wait, what? Okay, so the post office was established, right? Indian Territory on this day in 49, and was discontinued in 66, right after the Civil War. Where did I write? 49 to 66. 49 to 1866. So this building, this place probably like no one came to after, like, I'm trying to think of like the Wild West expansion side of things. Like, would this have been a town where people would have started at and been like, okay, from here I'm going to buy property and go out farther and get acreage, right? So Saline, nah, probably not. But its industry was salt. Because like you could actually have like a nice little scene in this area of like the salt mines and like some guns blasting, pew pew. But no one would even know about it. It's such a small town. Okay, so Selena probably not going to make the cut. What? Selena emerged as the Missouri, Oklahoma, and Gulf Railroad MOG. So it becomes what? Picture two general stores. So it's okay. It became something after 1912, which is not what I need. Okay. The town still exists. Oh, okay. So it didn't really do much. This is really interesting, though. This. This is interesting. In 1898, Salina had an estimated population of 200. Man, I kind of gotta look into this later. I'm like, very, like, I want to know more about this. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. This is actually pretty good. Paying the Cherokee Nations $1,600 annually for 10 years. Oh, so he built. So this dude, Lewis Ross, who's a brother of Chief John Ross. Okay, he leased it. Okay, that's interesting. He built a pretentious two-story brick plantation home at the site, planted a large orchard, gardens, and cotton field, and erected a cotton gin, a grist mill, and many farm buildings. Ah, here we go. Ravaged during the Civil War, the house was sold to the Cherokee Nation and used as an asylum, an orphan asylum. Was it by the Cherokee themselves using this? Okay, this is interesting. So they were building something in this town, but during the Civil War, this place got probably smoked. Interesting. Okay, I'm gonna make a note of that. This is just gonna go in here. And because I bet you the Cherokee during the Civil War were like, time to take you guys out, and they did. That's my guess. But I'll make a note of that. Okay. Anyways, back to other research. Back to other research. That's pretty cool though. They would have just. I wonder what the horse ride would have been. It's like, what is Shady Grove? And what's the Lost City? What is this? Shady Grove. What is this? Oh, it's Cherokee land. So this is like Lost City. What's this? Oh wow, Lost City is an unincorporated community and census-dedicated place in Cherokee country. Oh, okay. So it's just okay. So this little bit here is, I'm assuming, the Cherokee Reservation? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's what I'm looking at here. Interesting. Very interesting. Muskogee. I've heard of this place. And I've heard of Tallahassee as well. The only reason why I know of Muskogee is because of music. Cowboy music, to be exact. Alright, let me take a look. When was Muskogee founded? But I still wonder who or what made the fire at the orphan. See, that's a good question. Hold on, that's a good. You know what? Let's bookmark this one because we have some questions here. That's a very good question. Very good question, man. Who burnt it down? Okay, let's write this in here. Okay, so let's just write this in here. Because this takes place during the Wild West. Actually, you know what? That's a good... You know what? Good point. Very good point there, Firefox. Okay. Let's write this in here. Because there could be some story there. Cherokee Orphanage Asylum. Built in... Oh no, well, actually it was... Well, we'll clear that up. Where was that? Yeah, okay. And then the post office was established in 1876. Why is there a separate post office for the orphanage too? Like, wouldn't they be the same post office? I don't understand that. Okay. I'm just going to write this here. I'm going to take all of this. Copy that. Let me just put that in here. And then with that, I'm going to write this right here. Hold on. Where is it? This is getting a note. This is a good note. This is a very good note. Who burnt it down? And now, they say that the Cherokee Asylum Springhouse survives. So let's take a look at it. The Cherokee Orphan Asylum Springhouse, also known as the Blockhouse, is a historic stone structure near Salina, Oklahoma, serving as the only surviving remnant of the Cherokee Orphan Asylum, built in 1844. For the Lewis Ross plantation. It provided water for the asylum in 1874, but the orphanage burned in 1903. Okay, let me just double check if our numbers are all right here. 1903. Because sometimes they get a little weird with it. So this building was built... Where is it? Does it even say when it was built in here? Yeah, I guess around here, right? So 44. Okay. Okay, cool. Let's take a look at it. Yeah, okay, we know that. Surviving structure still stands. I'm just seeing if it would actually tell us who burnt it down. In 1741, the Ross Mansion became the Cherokee Orphan Asylum, with the spring house serving as an essential water source for over 100 children and staff. What? Cherokee Element. Okay, let's take a look at it. Okay, I guess they call it the Lewis Spring House. Lewis Spring House, aka Cherokee Orphanage, Orphan Spring House. Okay. There's a little stone. This is it? Oh no, this gotta be more than that. What is this? Prominent member of the Cherokee Nation. Controversial oil well. The orphan was also used the spring house. The house was destroyed by a fire in 1903, but the spring house remains. Okay. Okay, so this is the spring house where the water comes from, but the actual building itself, the actual orphanage, is gone. Okay. Because it burnt down in the fire, obviously. But that's neat. That's neat. That's really neat. So there's water in there? That's cool. Very cool. Now we know, but we don't know who burned it down, so that's a good question for the future. Um, very good very good question for the future. Okay, hold on. Did I write that in here when it started? So 17. I'm still trying to find places that were established between this timeline, but it's nice to know that this place existed, right? Like, it was just a salt mine. So with a small town, so it'd just be a small mining town, really. It seemed like on Cherokee Nation, which is interesting. I have a lot of questions. I have a lot of questions because I'm really curious if it was like native ran, because the guy that they were talking about in here, Lewis Ross, who's brother of Chief John Ross, those are natives, right? So I'm very curious about if it was like native ran and like how did that work. I have a lot of questions, but I like it. Okay, so that was good. That was a good run there. I like that. Okay, let's hold on. Okay, maybe we should go with like first major town in Oklahoma. Like, I'm looking for like a Dodge City. Okay, so we have this. Okay, this is at the end. Guthrie is at the end of the Wild West. Cultural Center. Selena's another one. So we still have Selena in here. Fort Gibson's still a thing. And then Guthrie is in 1889 at the tail end of it. So let's look at Guthrie. Okay, let's get in here. Let's open it up. The city of Guthrie, blah blah blah, United States, blah blah blah. Oh, I want early days history. There we go. So Guthrie was established in 1887 as a railroad station called Deer Creek on the Southern Kansas City Railway. Okay, that makes sense. The name was later changed to Guthrie, named after jurist, so a dude, John Guthrie. A post office was established in '89. So this is literally a railroad town. Okay. So this would probably still be something of somewhat importance. It's in '87. A post office was established in '89, which I feel like whenever there's a post office established, that means it's an official place. You know what I'm saying? Oh, okay. This is good. Actually, this is pretty good. What we got here? The land run. Oh, okay. Ran for both farmlands and towns. Okay, this is interesting. This is interesting. Okay, let's break this one in here. Gun 3, you're making it in. You're making it in the cut. Gun 3. Established in 88. Post office in 1889. Boom, we got you. So Gun 3 is a railroad town, as we know. So, railroad town. We'll get more into that. But that's actually pretty good, because that does fall into our timeline of the Wild West. And this is at the tail end of the Wild West. Because we have to, yeah, so the cowboy era right here, this is what we want. 1865 to 1890. So this place probably is important to some degree. I'm going to make a note of that. Gun 3. Selena is probably not that important, but I bet you it still could be like some good story stuff there. I really like this, Who Burnt This Shit Down. I like that. But Gun 3 is a little too late in the establishment. I need a town. I need something. Oklahoma City. What's this? Oh, okay. Oklahoma City business leaders began campaigning soon after statehood made to make Oklahoma City this new state capital. And in 1910, a special election was held to determine the location of the state capital for Oklahoma City. So it was between Oklahoma City and Gun 3 for the state capital. Oh, it's Shawnee. I know this place too. I've heard of that place. Interesting. So when was Oklahoma City founded? Let's take a look. When was Oklahoma... Oh, I'm spelling Oklahoma wrong. Oklahoma City. Bombing, I remember about that. That's a long time ago. Founded. Question mark. Oklahoma City was also founded in 1889, when the unassigned lands of the Indian Territory were opened for settlement in a massive land run. See, this here is very, very interesting information for me. I like this. Okay, so we need to write this down. This is very important. Okay, I have to... the land run, this is very important. Okay, I need this. Coming across this is actually awesome. Very, very awesome. Because as you can see here, I was writing about... I got this information about the Homestead Act, but I'm actually very, very... This is great. So, the unassigned lands of the Indian Territory were open for settlement in a massive land run. Roughly 10,000 homesteaders established a tent city in a single day. What is this? Thousands of people arrived to claim land, transforming... This is crazy. Okay, I need to look more into this. On April 22nd, 1889, thousands of people arrived to claim land, transforming the area into a city overnight. So that's how Oklahoma City happened? Okay, let's get into this. Oklahoma City was settled on 1889 when the area known as the unassigned land was opened for settlement in an event known as the Land Run. On April 26th of that year, the first mayor was elected, William Coach. Some 10,000 homesteaders settled in the area that would become the capital of Oklahoma. That's nuts. Okay, that's nuts. Okay, I need to know more about that. Okay, so the land run. I'm just gonna write this in here. Let's get this in here. Oklahoma land run. Let's just put this in here. Boom. You get the heading. This is very interesting. Normal text that up. Gotta research this a little bit more. That's on the research list. So hold on here. That's what happened in Gunfrey as well. Let me just double check that. Find land run. Okay, did they do the same thing? Is this a normal thing? In 1889, some 50,000 people is a crazy number, first of all. 50,000 potential settlers gathered at the edges of the unassigned lands in hopes of staking a claim to a plot. At noon on April 22nd, 1889, cannons resounded at a 2 million acre, I don't understand this, section of Indian Territory, launching President Benjamin Harrison's hoss race or land run of 89. People ran for both farmlands and towns. During the next 6 hours, about 10,000 people settled in what would become the capital of the new territory, Oklahoma. Within months, country was developed as a modern brick and stone. This question is unrelated with the stream, but when are you planning on playing Red Dead Redemption 2? Honestly, I'm going to end this stream soon, make some breakfast, and I'm probably going to stream in a few hours before I go to work. Yeah, so probably probably in an hour or so, I'm probably going to play some more Red Dead 2 before I go to work and just play for like an hour and a bit. Yeah, but it will be today, and then tomorrow, tomorrow I'm off, and I have some shit I have to do tomorrow, so I'm probably not going to stream tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow night, but I doubt it. It's going to be a busy day tomorrow. And then Thursday I'm off from work. I'll probably stream Thursday, and then Friday I have to work, Saturday I work, Sunday I work, so then we'll see by then. But I'll definitely be playing Red Dead tomorrow. Sorry, Red Dead today and Red Dead on Thursday. Yes. I don't know the exact time of when I'll be playing, but I will be playing on those days. And I will be ending this stream soon. I'm like, once I get into like a research rabbit hole, dude, I get like locked in. And I'm really glad that I found this, because this is kind of fucking crazy. Oh, look what we found right here. Gunthry's Western heritage includes the fact that in 1898, on April, outlaw Richard Little Dick West, a former member of the Wild Bunch gang, which I've heard about these guys, was in town when approached by the legendary lawman, Heck Thomas. This is happening in 98, so there's still gunmen. There's still outlaws in 98. Hold on, let me go to my history notes here. So we got the cowboy era listed here from 18 till the end of 1898, but there's still stragglers out here. I'm gonna write this in here. Where'd he go? Where'd that go? Oh no, that was Guntry. Okay, I kind of want to write this in here. April 18, outlaw Richard. Yeah, so he's buried near Bill Doon. Okay, I'm writing this down because I kind of just want to put this in here. Kind of as a maybe more of a timeline of really how long was the West going on, like the Wild West. This is kind of important. Let me bold that. Like, this was still happening, right? Even though we're saying it's from here to here. Let me bold this too. But I want to make a note. Whenever we find random outlaws, And then, oh wait, hold on. I should write this in Guthrie. This is Guthrie. It's Guthrie. I keep on pronouncing it as Guthrie. Guthrie. Okay. There we go. There we go. This is interesting. This is good. Good information. We got a lot of good research done today. They still have a lot more. Because I haven't really figured out, like, so my characters in my story here, they're homesteaders, right? Let me actually write that in here somewhere. I don't have a notes. I wish I just had notes. I'm just gonna write it here. I just want the word. That's all, just to remind me to use it, because it's a good word. They're homesteaders, so I'm trying to figure out how they would acquire land if they're in Oklahoma when Oklahoma's not actually Oklahoma yet. Actually, let me write that down. That's a question. When does Oklahoma become a state? Oklahoma is the 46th state, and it enters the Union in 1907. Okay, so for that's good information actually. Put that in here. This is just good historical note. Is the 46th state. Man, they came into the game late. So 46th state information check. So there's a lot of, because like it's Indian country. Okay, that's a good question too. Another good question. How long was Oklahoma listed as Indian country? Well, maybe I should put territory. Oklahoma was formerly listed and recognized as Indian country or Indian territory from the passage of the Indian Intercourse Act on June 30th, 1834, until the dissolution of the territory and creation of Oklahoma statehood. So it was for 73 years. That's, wow. Between the Muskogee Creek Nation and the extension of the tribes covering roughly eastern half of Oklahoma was never disestablished by Congress, meaning much of it is still considered Indian country for legal purposes. Okay, I'm going to write this down. So, this is just for me. Oklahoma. Oh my god, I'm spelling Oklahoma like Oklahoma was considered Indian territory from 1837, I think it said. Okay, actually, I want this whole thing. And I want this too. Give me all that, please. Paste without the format. Yep. Okay. Actually, I don't like all this wording, but that's fine. This is all important, though. Let me put that there. Okay, cool. So we have the timeline of when Oklahoma was just Indian country, which I'm going to actually probably put this in here. Yeah, that makes more sense because it's not Oklahoma yet when I'm writing about it. And it's, yeah, so 1834. So even back then, even in 1824, this number here does, oh, okay, wait. this is when they introduced this act, which I don't even know what the Indian Intercourse Act is. So it was even back then, like when Celine was around in 1796, it was still Indian land, Indian territory. But when they came out with this act, this piece of paper, this document, to officially label it as Indian territory, I get it. Okay, but it was Indian territory, well, for the entire fucking time. Okay, so what we don't know yet is like, because Oklahoma City and country get established way later when the um, train is. So I'm just gonna, yeah, and I'm gonna put in OKC. What was that? I think it was like what 1907. No, I can't remember. I'll have to look. I think it was 1890. It becomes the capital though. Oh, hold on. Let me go back here. I have it right here. Why am I? Oklahoma City was settled on April. Okay. This is when it was settled. That, and it was because of the land thing, which is, I still think this unassigned land thing is amazing. Actually, I want this because I actually want to read more about that because I'm fascinated by that. And let me just incorporate this little link here so I have it for when I need it. Very interested about this unassigned land. So the thing is that I need to figure out right now, what was before this? So I guess what I need is I need to find what towns. Okay, so what towns existed in Oklahoma between 1860 and 1890. Let's start with that. Okay. Okay, we got some other towns to look at here. Okay, established pre-towns, including territory. Okay, so Tallahassee, I've heard of this one. Okay, I've heard of this town because there's like country songs about Tallahassee. So Tulsa's going to be important, as you can see here, 1870 to 1880s, or Tulsa town. So Tulsa's going to be really important, and also because of this, because it's a cattle town. So this is very important. Tulsa is going to be a very important town. Oh, okay. We got some good stuff here. Chickamauga. Okay, so this is interesting. I've never even heard of these things. The Chickasaw Nation, Chimingo. Ah. The Osage. Okay, cool. We got some good stuff here. This is what I gotta look at too. Because the railroad stuff going through Oklahoma will be interesting. This is really interesting here. Look at this. These grew along MKT Katy Railroad line when it was built through Indian Territory in the early 1870s. Man, there's a lot of story that could go right here of the railroad line going right through the Indian Territory. That'll be fun to explore. Early black settlements. Ooh, in post 1865. Interesting. Following the Civil War, many formerly enslaved people migrated to the Indian Territory, leading to early settlements that predated the former later incorporated all black towns. Norfolk colored, Arkansas colored, Canadian colored, and Marshalltown colored. I wonder why it's called that. Other locations also important. Oh, nice. Beaver City. This is going to be good. Look at all this good shit we just found. Okay, I gotta just like, I'm just gonna grab all of this because I need it. I need it! We're just gonna put this at the very bottom of my list here for that. And then I have another document open. Nope, I don't. Okay, I'll have to throw, where is it? Give me a second here, my friends. Because we're going to be ending soon, but I need to put this in my keep notes for when I'm on my phone doing some research. Let me put this, oh shit. Yeah, let me put that here. Close. That's for me for like when I'm sitting at work and I need to do some research. I can go through that. That'll be on my phone. This is cool, man. This is very cool. Oh, wait a second. This is interesting too. Major 1889 land-run settlements. These towns grew into major centers overnight. So these are all the towns that happened from the land run. Like, I've heard about Alrena. That's interesting. I'm like really interested in this whole land run thing, man. That's got my brain thinking a lot. Lots of interesting history here in Oklahoma. And I haven't even gone to like I'm just focused on Oklahoma because like in that time period, this is like, so here's Texas. Texas is already its thing, but Oklahoma's Indian country. This is like wild territory. So there's like a lot that can go on here. You know what I'm saying? And like Kansas is established too, I believe. So it's like Oklahoma is like the only thing that's like still wild at this time before we get out here into the Midwest and up into like Montana and all of that. Like all this stuff happens. But like Oklahoma is in between, I believe. Like all this stuff around it is already, they're already states, right? So there's a lot of awesome shit to go on between here because you can go and hang out down in Texas, you can run up to Kansas, you're close to Mexico. So I'm just picking this spot right now, but there's like so much to explore story wise. But I'm glad that I did this, to be perfectly honest with you, where I just picked like this like little spot. And I think Oklahoma, I have it written down as a prairie land too, which is important. Where's my prairies? Yeah, which is this one. Because that's in my first short story. So, anyways, I think I'm going to end the stream here because I need to go get lunch. Well, breakfast, and get another tea. And then I'll come back, do some streaming for Red Dead 2. I'll get that set up. I'll probably do that around like 11 o'clock-ish, and then we'll play for like maybe an hour or so. So, thanks for hanging out with me, Firefox, and asking questions. I hope we learned a lot. I definitely got some good ideas brewing from sitting down and just going over this. So I'm going to do some more research tomorrow, too, probably, because I have tomorrow off. So it might be another research session in store for us. So have a good day, bud. I'll see you later. We'll be Red Deading in a couple hours, and I'll see you then, probably. All right. Peace out, dog. Bye.